Hello everyone. Welcome to this lecture series on chemical and physical equilibria. This is lecture number 22. In this lecture, I am going to discuss how to classify different phase transitions using Ehrenfest idea. So we are going to discuss Ehrenfest classification of phase transitions. Okay, let's get into the topic. Ehrenfest classified different phase transitions based on change in thermodynamic properties with respect to certain independent variables like temperature, pressure, etc. Okay, so how the thermodynamic variable changes with respect to temperature and pressure. Based on this, Ehrenfest classified different phase transitions into different types. Now, in phase transition, we usually think that solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or solid to gas transitions are phase transition. No, in phase transition there are many different types are available. Okay, so let me give some phase transitions here. See, solid to liquid phase transition, right? Then liquid to gas phase transition. Similarly, solid to gas phase transition. These are all phase transition. These are all well known for us. Apart from this, we also have ferromagnetic to paramagnetic phase transition. Okay, you know very well some material which will changes from ferromagnetic character to paramagnetic character at a particular temperature, right? So we call this as a phase transition, right? Ferromagnetic to paramagnetic phase transition. Then order disorder phase transition in alloys, right? This is also a phase transition. Then superconducting phase transition. See, when you plot in superconductor, if you plot resistivity versus temperature, okay, resistivity slowly decreases and abruptly becomes zero at one particular temperature. So at this temperature, what will happen? The material which was poor conductor now become a good conductor. Okay, so the superconducting materials will show phase transition. Similarly, in amorphous substance, right? Amorphous substances changes from glassy states to rubbery state, right? This is also a phase transition. Like this, we have many different types of phase transitions are available. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss, or we are going to learn how to classify these different phase transitions, right, based on the Ehrenfest idea. Okay, yeah. So Ehrenfest classified different phase transitions into different orders. Okay, so phase transitions are classified in different order. We have first order phase transition, we have second order phase transitions, we also have higher order phase transitions, but higher order phase transitions are very rare. So we are not going to discuss higher order phase transitions here. Okay, yeah. Now, what is mean by first order phase transition? Listen, when a substance exists in two different phases at equilibrium, okay, say for example phase 1 and phase 2 are in equilibrium. Okay, phase 1 and phase 2 of a substance exists in equilibrium. At equilibrium, we know chemical potential of the substance in phase 1 and chemical potential of the same substance in phase 2, right, should be equal, right? Chemical potential should be equal at equilibrium, that we know. What is chemical potential? In the case of pure substance, chemical potential is nothing but molar Gibbs free energy. So molar Gibbs free energy of the substance in phase 1 should be equal to molar Gibbs free energy of the substance in phase 2. If these two are equal, then we can say that the two phases are in equilibrium. Okay, now for a phase transition to be first order, what is the criteria? The criteria is this: the change in molar Gibbs free energy, okay, with respect to temperature at constant pressure in phase 1. Similarly, the change in molar Gibbs free energy with the temperature at constant pressure in phase 2 if these two are not equal. Okay, that is first derivative of the molar Gibbs free energy with the temperature, right, at constant pressure for phase 1 and phase 2 if these two are not equal. Okay, then the transition is called a first order phase transition. Similarly, dou GM, that is change in molar Gibbs free energy with respect to pressure at constant temperature in phase 1 and change in molar Gibbs free energy with respect to pressure at constant temperature in phase 2. Okay, if these two are not equal, right, then also the transition is called a first order phase transition. Okay, we know very well dg equal to vdp minus sdt. This is a standard thermodynamic equation for a pure substance in a closed system. This we know already, right? For if you take molar substance, or if you take 1 mole of substance, then we can also write this as dgm equal to vm into dp minus sm into dt for 1 mole of substance. Okay, now at constant pressure, see, at constant pressure, if I keep pressure constant, then this dp becomes 0. So we can write this as dgm equal to minus sm into dt, or we can say change in molar Gibbs free energy, bring this dt to the left hand side, with respect to temperature at constant pressure is equal to negative of molar entropy. Okay, so the change in Gibbs free energy with respect to temperature at constant pressure equal to molar entropy, right, of the substance. This molar entropy for phase 1 and molar change in Gibbs free energy for phase with respect to temperature at constant pressure, right, also called molar entropy. If the molar entropy of phase 1 and molar entropy of phase 2 are not equal at equilibrium, okay, are not equal at equilibrium, then we call this phase transition as first order phase transition, right? Similarly, what is this dou gm by dou p? Okay, from this, see, at I'll take it from here, at constant temperature, if I keep temperature constant, then dt becomes 0. If dt becomes 0, we can write dgm equal to vm into dp. Bring this dp to the left hand side. So dou gm by dou p at constant temperature equal to molar volume. So this quantity is nothing but equal to molar volume. So molar volume of the substance in phase 1 and molar volume of the substance in phase 2 are not equal at equilibrium. If they are not equal, then we call that phase transition, right, as the first order phase transition, right? Okay, so let me give this information in a graphical manner. Listen, see, in the case of first order phase transition, if we plot molar Gibbs free energy versus temperature, okay, see here, this is here in left hand side we have phase 1, in the right hand side we have phase 2. This dotted line indicates the transition temperature, okay, phase transition temperature, or let me say this phase transition, phase PT temperature, phase transition temperature, or the equilibrium temperature. Okay, now listen, here the Gibbs free energy is continuous. See, there is no gap there. There is no gap, it is continuous. So in first order phase transition, okay, Gibbs free energy G should be continuous. For a first order phase transition, G should be continuous, right? In phase 1, when you move from phase 1 to phase 2, okay, the Gibbs free energy is a continuous function, right? What about molar volume, right? Yeah, we know very well, just now we discussed molar volume is nothing but dou G by dou T. See here, molar volume is nothing but dou G by dou P at constant temperature. So it is the molar volume is nothing but first derivative of Gibbs free energy with respect to pressure. So the first derivative of Gibbs free energy, right, is nothing but, with respect to pressure, is nothing but molar volume. If I plot molar volume versus temperature, right, for the phase transition, see, this is phase 1, this is phase 1, and this is phase 2, right? In phase 1, see, molar volume slightly increases at the phase transition temperature, or at the equilibrium temperature. There is a discontinuity. Okay, suddenly the value will increase. Okay, so in phase 1 you have this much molar volume, right, whereas the same amount of substance, the molar volume will suddenly increase, okay, at the same temperature, right? So there is a discontinuity in the curve, or in the slope of Vm versus T. So this type of transitions is what we call as first order phase transition, right? So in first order phase transition, right, molar volume or specific volume, molar volume is a discontinuous function. It is discontinuous. Similarly, if you take molar entropy, what is molar entropy? Yeah, molar entropy, negative of molar entropy is nothing but dou G by dou T at constant pressure. Okay, so if you plot the molar entropy versus temperature, right, for phase 1 and phase 2 transition, right, so this is phase transition temperature. At the phase transition temperature, see here, there is a discontinuity, right? Suddenly there is a jump, right? This discontinuity in the plot of molar entropy versus temperature, okay, shows that this phase transition is a first order phase transition. So for first order phase transition, this is another important point, that molar entropy is also discontinuous. Okay, molar entropy also discontinuous. Similarly, right, if you plot enthalpy, molar enthalpy versus temperature, molar enthalpy versus temperature is also discontinuous, right? This is also a discontinuous one, right? So listen, for first order phase transition, right, Gibbs free energy is a continuous function, whereas molar volume, molar entropy, and molar enthalpy, these are all discontinuous functions, right? And what about heat capacity? You know very well, heat capacity is nothing but, at constant pressure, is nothing but dou H by dou T at constant pressure, right? Now listen, in this graph, see, in this graph, at this temperature, at the transition temperature, or at the equilibrium temperature, okay, there is a sudden change in the enthalpy. Say this is enthalpy 1. Here, let us take the enthalpy as H1. Okay, here let us take the enthalpy as H2. So there is a change in enthalpy, H2 minus H1. What about change in temperature? For this point and for this point, temperature is same. So there is no change in temperature, dt is 0. Something by 0 is infinite. So Cp plot, if you see Cp versus temperature plot, because Cp is nothing but dou H by dou T. Okay, so at the equilibrium temperature, right, Cp will go to infinite. It will go to infinity. So this is the plot we get, okay, for first order phase transition. So for first order phase transition, Cp versus temperature plot, okay, at equilibrium, it will reach infinity, right? Keep this in mind, it's very, very important. Okay, so these are all the some of the important conditions, right, for first order phase transition, right? So for first order phase transition, molar Gibbs free energy should be continuous. Molar volume, molar entropy, molar enthalpy, these are all should be discontinuous. And if you plot Cp versus T, see, right, at the equilibrium temperature, this graph or this curve will go to infinity at equilibrium temperature, right? Yes, then. Now what about second order phase transition, right? Suppose assume that in a similar manner, a substance exists in two different phases, and the two phases are in equilibrium. Okay, so at equilibrium, chemical potential of the component in phase 1 and chemical potential of the component in phase 2 should be equal. This is we know well, okay, already. And chemical potential is nothing but molar Gibbs free energy. So we can also say that molar Gibbs free energy of the substance in phase 1 and molar Gibbs free energy of the substance in phase 2 should be equal at equilibrium. Now for a second order phase transition, okay, so this is phase 1, this is phase 2. For second order phase transition, the first derivative of Gibbs free energy, that is Gibbs free energy with respect to temperature at constant pressure for phase 1, and the molar Gibbs free energy change with the temperature at constant pressure for phase 2, these two are equal. See here, very important, these two are equal. And similarly, dou gm by dou p at constant temperature, these two are also equal, right, for phase 1 and for phase 2. Okay, so in the case of second order phase transition, right, the first derivatives, okay, for that is dou g by dou t at constant pressure for phase 1 and for phase 2 are equal. Similarly, dou g m by dou p at constant temperature for phase 1 and phase 2 are equal. Okay, but the second derivative, dou square g by dou t square at constant pressure, okay, for phase 1, and dou square g by dou t square at constant pressure for phase 2, these two are not equal. Okay, so for second order phase transition, right, first derivatives are equal but second derivatives are not equal. Okay, so what does this indicate? Similarly, dou square g by dou p square at constant temperature is not equal to dou square g by dou p square at constant temperature for the two different phases. Okay, then now how to represent these functions, right? Listen, this is very important. See, in the case of second order phase transition, yes, molar Gibbs free energy versus temperature, if we plot, see, there is no change in slope. I'm sorry, there is no sudden change in slope at any temperature. Okay, so we can say that the molar Gibbs free energy is continuous. Okay, I repeat, molar Gibbs free energy is continuous for both first order phase transition as well as for second order phase transition. Okay, whereas if you see the molar volume versus temperature plot for phase 1 and phase 2, okay, and this is the equilibrium temperature. At equilibrium temperature, see there is no discontinuity. The curve or the graph is continuous. Okay, so molar volume is also continuous in the case of second order phase transition, because at equilibrium we know that at equilibrium, change in free energy with respect to temperature at constant pressure and change in free energy with respect to pressure and constant temperature are for both the phases are equal. Okay, therefore at this point, okay, the dou g by dou p, that is the slope, right? What is this? This is nothing but molar volume in phase 1, and this is nothing but molar volume in phase 2, right? These slopes, right, at this point, the molar volume of the substance in phase 1 and molar volume of the substance in phase 2 are equal. Okay, similarly, if you see the molar entropy plot, molar entropy versus temperature, this is also continuous. There is no discontinuity. That is very important, right? And what about enthalpy? Enthalpy also continuous, right? So in the case of second order phase transition, right, molar Gibbs free energy, molar volume, molar entropy, molar enthalpy, all are continuous functions. Okay, what about Cp? Listen, in Cp is dou H by dou T at constant pressure. Okay, see here, at this temperature, at the equilibrium temperature, okay, this value, right, this value, see here, at the same temperature, at the same equilibrium temperature, right, Cp value for phase 1 and for phase 2 are different. There is a discontinuity. Okay, there is a discontinuity in Cp graph, and this indicates it is a second order phase transition. Okay, so if you want to identify whether a phase transition is first order phase transition or second order phase transition, is very simple. Just plot Cp versus T graph for a substance, okay, at different temperatures. Okay, if you get infinity, if your curve reaches infinity at the equilibrium temperature, it is first order phase transition. Okay, if the curve doesn't go to infinity, but at the equilibrium temperature there is a discontinuity in the Cp values, right? Then that graph shows that it is a second order phase transition, right? Yeah. So this is how we should classify the first order and second order phase transitions, right? Then this is the idea proposed by Ehrenfest. Now I like to discuss this point here. See, if you take crystals, right? If I plot molar volume versus temperature for crystals, so assume that this is the equilibrium temperature or the transition temperature. Here I have crystal. On heating, the crystal will melt. Okay, listen, if you take a crystal and if you plot molar volume versus temperature, right, this graph will appear like this. Yeah, will appear like this. What does this indicate? There is a discontinuity in the graph. It indicates that molar volume is a first order phase transition. And sorry, crystal to melt, right? If you melt crystals, okay, solid become liquid. So this solid to liquid, or this temperature is called melting temperature. Okay, it is a first order transition. So melting temperature is a first order transition, right? Suppose if I take, say for example, if I take an amorphous substance, right? Or in the case of polymers, if I plot molar volume versus temperature, right? This is the transition temperature one. For amorphous substance, okay, we have a glassy state. We have glassy state and liquid state, or rubbery state. Rubbery state. Okay. See, in this case, if you plot molar volume versus temperature, we'll get a graph which looks like this. What does this indicate? There is no discontinuity at the equilibrium temperature. So this temperature is also called as glass transition temperature in the case of polymers, right? So glass transition temperature, right, is a second order phase transition actually, right? It is a second order phase transition. Okay, yeah. So so this is a very, very important one. Keep this in mind. Then I like to give this information also. Solid to liquid, liquid to gas, solid to gas, right? These are all examples for first order phase transitions. They are all first order phase transitions. Okay, and many phase transitions comes under first order. For second order, we have only few examples, right? For example, this glass transition, right? Wherever glass transition temperature exists, it is a second order phase transition, right? So glassy state to rubbery state, that change is a first order, second order phase transition, right? So glassy state to rubbery state, rubber state. Okay, this is an example for second order phase transition. Similarly, liquid helium, right? Helium 1 and helium 2, right, at delta temperature, lambda temperature. Lambda temperature is around 2.9 Kelvin. You know very well, at 2.9 Kelvin, okay, helium exists in two different phases. Okay, helium 1, helium 2, and this phase transition is an example for second order phase transition, right? Apart from this, we have superconducting phase transition. Superconducting phase transition is a second order phase transition, right? So we have few examples. This is similarly order disorder phase transition in alloys. Order and disorder phase transitions in alloys. Alloys follow second order phase transition. Okay, we have many examples of first order phase transitions, but we have Only few examples for second order. Higher order phase transitions are very rare. Okay, so now I think now you have understood the concept, right? How to classify phase transitions into first order, second order, right? Yeah, it is quite easy, but you have to remember this idea for to crack some of the questions in the CSI or JRF examination or IIT JAM examination. Okay, yeah, I stop here. Thank you.